So, like many of you, I've been hearing the reports about Kanye West and his family, and listening to the way people talk about him in the news and talk shows and social media. And it really got me thinking. As a medical physician and a mental health expert, I felt compelled to share my perspective and my thoughts. Now, I don't know Kanye, nor do I have anything to do with his treatment, but I do know mental health and the inner workings of the minds of creative artists. And Kanye is definitely a creative artist who's been named I mean, you guys know, the multi-award winning creative genius. But the way this is playing out shows just how uninformed many people are about mental health. I mean, first off, I'm just so sick of listening to people talk about mental health who have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, just because you could share your opinion doesn't mean you should share your opinion. And as I see people laughing and making mean comments at his expense, I think it would help for people to gain some insight as to what happens inside the mind of a creative artist who's actively expressing their art, and what happens inside the mind of someone who suffers from bipolar disorder. Now, you would think that people would have a little more insight and a little more understanding when other individuals are in emotional pain and they're struggling, whether you're a celebrity or you're not. People with mental health difficulties, they might say or do things that don't seem quite right. I mean, it could be paranoia, it could be grandiosity, it could be changes in their mood, it could be highs and lows, extreme anxiety. That's the emotional pain talking. Bipolar disorder is often linked with creativity, and there is definitely some truth to that. But you can also be uber creative without having mental health difficulties as well. See, a creative mind connects concepts and neurons in ways that others can't. A creative artist can envision things that others can't. They can solve problems, they can build companies, they can write music, they can integrate the cognitive and the creative parts of their minds in their mind in ways others they're not able to. So we should all strive to be more creative. Some of it is innate, but you can actually learn to be more creative. Now, people suffering from bipolar disorder, which is a neurochemical condition in the mind, may suffer from symptoms like racing thoughts and nights without sleeping and risky behaviors, impulsive actions, paranoia, and they may also have intense surges of creativity. The real problem, though, is that what happens to them living their lives outside of these bursts of creativity? Managing and handling relationships, communicating effectively, maintaining a job, social etiquette. All of these things become incredibly difficult when you're suffering from bipolar disorder. And in fact, these are often overlooked or neglected or too painful, particularly if an individual is not on their medications or they're unaware of their condition or they're not in treatment. And in some cases and in some people, the costs of creative genius is erratic mental health. Now, there's something I want to mention that's been growing in our society that impacts our politics, which I'm sure we've all seen, our media, our science, everything. Our current society emphasizes visibility over credibility. I mean, anyone can get on a media platform and state their opinions, even if they have no knowledge, no insight, no experience, no education, no credibility, and no wisdom. And that's a real problem, because the loudest shouldn't be talking. The most informed and experienced are the ones that should be talking and leading, as they're the ones who can help make sense of what's happening in the world around us. But when other voices that are frankly uninformed are the loudest, we can't hear the wisdom. It's too noisy out there to hear the wisdom. Now, we tend to take people in the public eye at face value. What a celebrity or a politician or an artist does and says gets analyzed and dissected and overly scrutinized. But sometimes those same human beings are under the influence of an inner chemical disturbance. And during those vulnerable public moments, we should show more compassion and less sensationalism.